नित्यं भारत सेवया भगवती श्लोके कार्तिक मास उत्सव की this day 5 of Kartik meditation series. Within Kartik Mass, they are having this program of meditating upon various transcendental topics, followed by Vivosva, Ramarashtra. So I'm glad that all of you chose to come here and participate in this and progress towards spiritual realization in our lives. We have been seeing for the last 4 days what is the highest success, what is the definition of highest success in our life. And that information was given to us in this verse in Srimad Bhagavatam. Etavan Sankhya Yoga Vyam Swadharma Parinishthaya Janmalabha Parahamsa Ante Narayanas. So we have been using this as the primary goal of our life and trying to understand various aspects of how do we achieve this state. And yesterday we saw from the point of view of what would be the advice of the toppers. How many of you were here yesterday? What was the advice of the toppers? Many exams there are toppers, and if you want to succeed in the exam, you learn from the toppers of the exam, those who top, right? And then you try to see what they do, so one can emulate, so that we may also be successful in the final exam. Ante Narayana Smriti. Ante is final. So what do we need to be successful? What do we need to do in order to be successful in our final exam? So this verse, what it says, for those who are not here previously, the highest perfection of human life, achieved either by complete knowledge of matter and spirit, by practice of mystic powers, or by perfect discharge of occupational duty, is to remember the personality of God at the end of life. We've all heard about various different yoga systems, Dhyana Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, etc. No matter what yoga system we follow, the definition of success for the yoga system, the highest perfection in that yoga system, can only be said to be achieved when we meet this goal. What is the goal? It is to remember the personality of Godhead at the end of life. Seems like an easy thing. After all, it's a long time away, and naturally, when a person gets bored and a little bit invalid and starts to experience various kinds of distress, naturally we tend to remember God. So one may think that yes, I've seen my parents, I've seen my grandparents, they are all always engaged in some kind of spiritual practice as per their culture, etc. So naturally, when I grow older, that will happen to me, and they will come when I'm 30 years of age. When I'm retired, all the children are grown up, they're married, their children are grown up, their children have gone to school, their children are married. Then automatically a realization will come to me, and I can then achieve perfection. So there's nothing to be done now. This is a common approach to the subject. But actually, those who are the toppers, who have actually aced this exam, tell us otherwise. And the series of discussions that we're having this Kartik Mass is to try to understand what is the issue. There is a sentence in this purport of this exam verse which I would like to read today. This is towards the end of the book. So every verse in Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, you see, there will be a translation given by Srila Prabhupada. This is Srila Prabhupada here. This authored deep books on the subject. And there is a detailed explanation. And in this particular verse, which we just saw, here is the last line of this. Everyone is anxious to achieve the highest perfection of this particular activity. And it is indicated here that such perfection is Narayana's Priti, for which everyone must endeavor his best. In other words, life should be molded in such a way that one is able to progressively remember the personality of Godhead in every step of life. So let's look at this again. It's a very, very powerful statement here and gives us a clue as to what we should do. I would like you all to focus on this part of the sentence. Life should be molded in such a manner that one is able to progressively remember the personality of Godhead in every step of life. It's a major revelation. This is the topper's advice to us. Pure devotee, who is the, you can say in many ways, the composer of the final exam, not just the topper of the exam, is telling us that it is not that one must try to ace it at the end, but rather one must mold one's life in such a way that one is able to progressively remember. So what does this mean? Progressively remember. It means that with every step, we can remember more and more and more and more. That is progression. With every step of our life, we should be able to remember the Lord. That is the secret to achieving Ante Aravan's. Which means there are several decisions that we must make in our life that take us in that direction. This does not happen simply by accident, because our life is full of choices. Every day we are making choices on how we should spend time. What should we do with our energy? What should we do with our free will? What should we do with our time? So these decisions, every decision that we make, must be made with the viewpoint of this sentence in the background. Life should be molded in such a manner that one is able to progressively remember the personality of God in every step of life. That brings us to today's topic of meditation, this month of Kartik, molding one's life. I would like you all to take away, if you want to take away one thing today, is that one must consciously mold himself. It doesn't happen accidentally. And it is not about one aspect of our day. Sometimes it is, we said, we hear that every day morning, light a lamp. Maybe once in a year, visit the temple, New Year Day or something like that. But here, it's a very different concept. If we want to achieve the highest perfection, the entire life must be molded up. Not just one or two aspects of life. Every aspect of life must be molded. Now, what is the system of molding of one's life that has been given by Srila Prabhupada? Srila Prabhupada quotes this verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Chaitanya Charitamrita is the biography, teachings, life and teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his associates, and there's a set of 9 books. It is divided into 3 parts: Adi Lila, Madhya Lila, and Antya Lila. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is another personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who appeared 500 years back and propagated the chanting of the holy name of God. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. So, in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was present in this world, he spent a lot of time interacting with his confidential associates, devotees. One of them was Sanatana Goswami in Vrindavan, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spent several days giving him several aspects of devotional service, detailed instructions. And in those instructions, there is this one verse in the books. This is part of 64 limbs of devotional service. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed Sanatana Goswami on 64 limbs of devotional service. What is bhakti? There are 64 limbs of devotional service that we talk about. And then he said, Sadhu Sangha, Nama Kirtana, Bhagavata Shravana, Mathura Vasa, Sri Murtira Shraddhaya Seva. These five constitute five most important limbs of devotional service. I would like you to repeat this all with me. Sadhu Sangha, Nama Kirtana, Bhagavata Shravana, Mathura Vasa, Sri Murtira Shraddhaya Seva. So, what is Sadhu Sangha? Sadhu Sangha means devotee association, associated with devotees. Nama Kirtana. Nama Kirtana means chanting the holy name of the Lord. Bhagavata Shravana. Shravana means hearing. Bhagavata Shravana means hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Mathura Vasa means residing in Mathura. And the fifth is Sri Murtira Shraddhaya Seva. That means Sri Murti is the Vigraha or the deity form of the Lord. Shraddhaya means with great faith and devotion. Sevana, devotional service. Sri Murti Shraddhaya Seva means to render devotional service to the deity with faith. So these five limbs are extremely important and considered the most important parts of the 64 limbs of devotional service. So Srila Prabhupada has created a system by which all of us can benefit from participating in all these five limbs and many more in fact. But I would like to focus on these five and help us realize the relevance of the practices that are followed as part of the worldwide Hare Krishna movement, which was propagated and popularized by Srila Prabhupada in the Western countries particularly. What is the importance of those elements and how do they tie to these five most important things? Because if we can understand the importance of this, then we can more easily follow it. We will take it more seriously. And following these limbs will actually help us mold our life and help us progress in every step of life. So, if you look at the most prominent parts of the system created by Srila Prabhupada, anyone who comes in contact with the temple, you would be told. What is the first thing that you hear? Chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Right? Chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. The first time you come here, they'll give up a mala. Please sit down and chant one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And then you are asked every day, please chant one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Then you start chanting one round. You are told, please chant 2 rounds. Then you are told, in Kartik Mass, you should make it 8 rounds. Or increase it, right? If you are in 16 rounds, increase further, but otherwise at least 16. So this system of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it is nothing but Nama Kirtana. It is one of the most important limbs of the 64 limbs of devotional service. The 5 most important. Then you are told, please come every Sunday to attend Darshanarati and then hear Bhagavatam class. Correct? You are told this, please come every Sunday. And then when you start coming every Sunday, then you will hear, please come every day. And attend Sandhya Arati or Mangal Arati, attend Arati every day. Once in a day, please come and attend Arati. But for those who are not coming every day, for those who are not even coming every week, you will be told, please come to the temple at least once a week. Make it part of your life. Make it part of your routine. Yes, you will have many other family obligations. But please take out time in your life. Make it systematic. Make it a systematic part of your life. So that once in a week, every Sunday, on a Saturday, you are able to come, preferably Sunday, in this temple. Come in the morning, 7:30 a.m. for Darshanarati. Attend the Bhagavatam class. So what is this? What are the limbs that it covers? Arati, Sri Murti, Sarvaya Shaya, covers that. And then here in Bhagavatam class, Bhagavata Shravana. So you see how the system is created based on the scriptures. It is not a whimsical system that has been created. And then there are various pilgrimages that are organized by the temple. Here, of course, in India, the temples are there. There are places pilgrimage which are very well known, Dasa, Mayapur, Dwarka, etc. And here you may be wondering, where is the place of pilgrimage in West? Actually, for this, it requires a very deep knowledge of the scriptures. According to the scriptures, how does a place become a place of pilgrimage? Can anyone guess? How can you say that this is a place of pilgrimage and that is a place of pilgrimage? According to you, what is the definition of a place of pilgrimage? Tirtha. Tirtha Sthana. How do you say something is a Tirtha Sthana? Where the Lord is very good. Any other explanations? Where the Lord's pastimes took place? Yes. Based on the references mentioned in the Vedanta. Yes. Yes. Wherever we Harinam, that is also very much true. Wherever there is Harinam, there is Vrindavan. Atmosphere is created. But the reason why the Vrindavan atmosphere is created is because we always start our Harinam by invoking our spiritual master. That is why the Vrindavan atmosphere is created. Actually, the place of pilgrimage is defined as that place where pure devotee resides. Wherever the pure devotee of the Lord resides, that becomes the place of pilgrimage. To the degree that it is said in Bhagavatam, there is a verse that essentially says that a pure devotee, by the presence of the pure devotee, even a place of pilgrimage is purified. So that is the power of pure devotee. So places of pilgrimage in America are places we consider where Srila Prabhupada has visited. For example, here we go to the Commonwealth Pier, where Srila Prabhupada landed. Pure devotee, where a pure devotee resides, that becomes a place of pilgrimage. So, but all of these things, there is one thing, one of the 5 limbs which I have not mentioned yet, and that is sadhu sangha. And when all these activities are done under the guidance of the devotees, that becomes sadhu sangha. So when the expert advice, expert guidance of the devotees is taken for conducting all of these activities, that becomes sadhu sangha. So sadhu sangha, nama kirtana, bhagavata these 5 limbs, if we can all make them part of our life, then our life will become molded in such a way that we are progressively able to remember Krishna in every step of our life. Then there will be no difficulty that at the end of our life we are not remembering the Lord, because every step we are remembering, every day we are thinking, oh, today I am chanting prayers, I cannot speak before, right? So automatically. Now, this has been shared later, but some of you who are coming here might be even aware of these books. And in fact, you are trying to progress in this direction. And you are trying to make more your life. Sometimes, as you progress in this, there will be some obstacles in molding this life. So, some of the obstacles are time management kind of obstacles, that oh, I have got some limited time, I have so many obligations, duties that I have already taken up. So that is answered in Bhagavatam, that what is required for molding one's life is fundamentally a change in consciousness. By staying stationed in one's life and doing the activities that they are doing, but by dedicating that to Krishna, by dovetailing that to Krishna consciousness, one can still advance. So even though one is not able to, at that moment in time, dedicate the time that you want to dedicate, but by changing the purpose behind what you are doing, what you are presently, automatically Krishna will create means in your life by which you can dedicate what is needed to be done. So let us say that in a day you got some hours, and those hours you will be able to spend in certain activities, not in the activities that are required for this system. But if you do that activity with the consciousness that I am doing it for Krishna, then automatically Krishna generates the time such that life will get changed, it will get morphed in a way that you are able to take these activities. That happens mystically. Anybody who has taken a Krishna consciousness can vouch for that. This is exactly what has happened. That is what is allowing us to actually spend the time. Otherwise, if you had asked anyone who's practicing Krishna consciousness today, before they were practicing Krishna consciousness, if somebody had told them, for tomorrow you should start 16 months of chanting, they would have said, most likely, you have to always do. And if somebody says that I don't know every Sunday for 10 to I don't have for 3 hours a day. If somebody says every day you should I would have 45 minutes for every day. I don't have that time. I have the duties. But suddenly you see, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years now, they are doing all these things. Where did the time come from? The distribution of the law. And it happens when we change our consciousness doing something that the law wants. But before we get to that state, there is one very important transformation that needs to happen in us, which allows us to change our consciousness. And if we don't undertake the consciousness, then there is obstacle in thinking that I am doing this for Krishna. There is an obstacle. And what is the change that we are doing? The change is there in the very word holding your life. How many of you have studied any engineering discipline? Anybody has studied engineering? What engineering do you study? Materials. Yeah. Nanomaterials. Okay. Anybody else studied engineering? Very strange. Normally you have a group of Indians, so many Indians, very rare nobody studying engineering. So I have studied engineering. I studied chemical engineering. And one of the lab activities that we have to create a die cast of metal. You have to make metal and cast it into some object. The instructor will give some object, and will cast it. And one of the things you have to do for that is you have to take sand and compact the sand. Very compact. And first you put some shape, existing shape, you have to put in the sand, compact it fully. And then you close it, it's full of sand, there is a hole, you take out the object, is full, right? And then you do two sides like that, you put together to clamp it down. And then next important thing is you have to take the molten metal and you pour it into that. And then you let it stand, once it cools down, it becomes the shape that you want. So in this process of molding, something has happened. In order to mold the metal shape you want, first the metal had to bend. The metal had to yield. The metal must have some shape, right? Metal pieces, scrap metal or metal rods, iron or something. The metal wasn't some shape, and the metal had to voluntarily, it's not voluntarily, we are building. But if you apply this example, the logic was, we have to voluntarily allow ourselves to be shaped without any reservations, without holding back anything. When we allow ourselves to be shaped, then our life is formed. If we resist that, it doesn't get formed. We remain the same shape that we want. That brings us to today's verse, which I like about chanting. Trinadapi sunichena. Trinadapi sunichena. Tarorapi sahishnuma. Tarorapi sahishnuma. Amanina manade. Kirtani sadahi. One more time. Trinadapi sunichena. Tarorapi sahishnuma. Amanina manade. Kirtani sadahi. The purport of this is that if you want to achieve the state of Kirtaniya Sadhani, it means to always be remembering the Lord, always be glorifying the Lord, then you must do the following. Trinadapi Singhichena, Tarodapi Sahishtuma, Amanita Margin. If you do these three things, then you can achieve the state. If you want to allow yourself to be molded, then these three things are required. What are they? One can chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind. thinking himself lower than the street, straw in the street. When you're walking on the street, sometimes there's dry grass, straw, there's land. People come and trample on it. Straw is not noticed. This is the quality that is expected. These are one of the Shishtamashtakam 8 verses that we have to take in our. So there are very few verses that Chaitanya, like for example, Krishna and Bhagavad Gita, right? He has spoken the Bhagavad Gita, the entire Bhagavad Gita. But by and large, Bhagavad Gita is spoken by Krishna. There are many other statements that Krishna has made in Mahabharata, that's in first many places. Bhagavad Gita specifically has instructions for Krishna for us. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when the same Lord Krishna appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he left behind 8 verses. One of those verses is this. And what was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission? Is to make everyone chant Hare Krishna Mahaprabhu. And in order for you to do that, this is important. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu specifically stressed this verse, that one must wear this as a around our neck all the time. Specifically, this mala, one must wear this verse around our neck all the time, metaphorically. Which means we should always be remembering this verse and acting according to this. One can chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking himself lower than his straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than the tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respects to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. So if we want to mold our life, we must be willing to yield, allow ourselves to be molded. And the verse that we should think of when, of course, you can imagine, always remember the example of a die cast mold. The metal has to be melted before the metal resists. And when we have mold of life, we will allow the person who is already molded to mold us. Like ourselves, it's very difficult to mold. And the iron melted to form its own shape, it cannot. Somebody else has to do it, right? So we must allow ourselves. And sometimes one may think that, oh, but I'm going to be molded like this. What if maybe or I'm saying that I'm ready for service, but is it that all amount of this thrust upon me, all kinds of work is given to me, am I being taken advantage of, am I being manipulated? All these kinds of thoughts will come. Why the thoughts come? Because of the false prestige. Because we are not attained the state of the molten metal. Because of that, the mind will play tricks on us. It will create justifications. Why I should not do this? One of the justifications is, oh, I am actually very humble. It's taking too much advantage. This kind of a thought will come. This is a trick played by the mind. So that time, the defense mechanism that we should use against this kind of a thought, it's the enemy thought. This is an enemy sitting in our mind and it's attacking us. The defense is this line from Bhagavad Gita where Krishna says to Arjuna, when Arjuna tries to resist, Arjuna doesn't become a mortal immediately. He gives one first chapter completely is Arjuna resisting. He doesn't want to fight. Correct? So throughout Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is telling him, no, married, allow me to hold you. Do as I say. One of the specific things that he says is Nimitta Mantra Bhava Satya Sachi. Nimitta Mantra Bhava. That means just be an instrument. Just be my instrument. You don't have to be anything else. Become manipulated by me. I am trying to manipulate. I am manipulating you. I want to manipulate you. Become manipulated. Your job is to become manipulated by me. So, becoming manipulated by a devotee is actually the success of it. If a devotee thinks you are worthy of being manipulated, that means you have attained success. Because that is the way in which our life. So, this should be the thoughts for reaching the state of awareness to be the goal. And there are various aspects of how to get to that. And this entire month we will be meditating on various aspects of this. We have been questions. Maturavas means where the Lord resides. Lord resides at the pure devotee is the Lord. For example, this temple, Prabhupada says in many cases that the temple of the Lord that is established by Him, they are transcendental, they are not part of this material world. Why? Because all the activities happening here, they are not on material platform. They are happening on pure spiritual platform, pure devotional service. And because activities happen here on pure devotional service, this temple is not different from the Vaikuntha, the spiritual world. Sometimes I find it difficult to appreciate it. But these activities, the fact that you are sitting there hearing, this activity is a spiritual activity. 100% spiritual. This, therefore, every activity that happens here is a Mathura Vas activity. कार्तिक मास महा महोत्सव की जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय।